How's it going, guys? It's Steve here, and I'm going to be teaching you how to paint your motorcycle wheels. The first thing we're going to do is take off the rear wheel axle nut. Normally you would loosen the nut first while the bike is still on the ground. However, I don't have a socket to do this. I'm using a wrench, so that's why it's up on the stand right here, so I can get leverage. When you take things off, make sure you know how to put them back on. So I put things in the order I take them off on the ground to make it easier. Right here I'm putting some wood under the rear tire, so when I remove the axle nut and there's nothing holding the wheel in anymore, it doesn't just fall. Loosen and remove the main bolt on the rear brake caliper. Once you have that out, you can start persuading the rear axle out of the bike. I used a mallet. If you have a rubber mallet, use that instead because it will do less damage. But if you have a regular mallet like myself, just be real gentle and you can motivate it out of the bike. Take the chain off the sprocket and gently remove the wheel from the bike. Try to be careful to not damage your rear brake caliper or rear brake pads. Since the wheel is off the bike, we have a really nice view at the sprocket and all of its teeth. Go ahead and check those and make sure none are chipped, missing, or deformed in any way. Remove the rear sprocket. Remove the rear brake rotor. The back wheel's all done, so now we can start on the front. Loosen the front axle nut and get the bike into the air. Now that the bike is safely up, we can take the axle nut completely off. Remove the axle pinch bolts. My bike has 2 on each side, yours may be different. Loosen the front brake caliper bolts, but don't remove them all the way. Unclip your brake lines from any clips they may be in. Using either a bungee cord or some rope like I did, tie your brakes up and out of the way so they are not just hanging there by the brake lines. More wood under the front tire, just like with the back one. Gently persuade your front axle out of the bike. We now have free access to the front wheel. Remove both of the brake rotors from the front wheel. Next, you're going to want to clean your wheels as thoroughly as possible. These have seen a lot of miles and have picked up a lot of brake dust and a lot of contaminants from the road. So really scrub these. I used a green Scotch-Brite pad and just normal car wash soap. Once you're happy with the cleanliness of your wheels, set them out somewhere to dry. Remove any center caps or weights that you may still have on your wheel. Just take anything off that you don't want painted. Now that the wheels are dry, we can tape them up. Tape everything you don't want painted. I covered the entire tire because I didn't want the chance of any overspray getting on it, because these are the tires that I'm going to be leaving on the bike. Now the fun part, we can start painting. So shake up your can real well and start spraying. Keep it about 8 to 10 inches away from the wheel itself. You don't want to get too close, because then the paint can like puddle up in a run, and you don't want that. I'm spinning my wheel here and keeping the can in the same position. I found this works for me. Paint it however works for you. You just want to be nice and smooth. You're going to want to do multiple coats. When you're happy with the color, you can go ahead and hit it with a clear coat. Repeat for the other wheel. Once you're done spraying, I'd wait a full
24 hours later
before attempting to put the wheels back on the bike, just so you know they've had ample amount of time to dry. Reinstalling the wheels is just a reverse process of taking them off, obviously. So go ahead and just reverse that process and put your bike back together. Put the front axle back in and reinstall the nut. Reinstall your pinch bolts. Tighten them puppies down. Snug your front axle nut back down. Reinstall your front brake calipers and your front wheel is back on. Time to go to the rear wheel. Remove the tape and reassemble anything you may have taken off of your wheel. Reinstall the brake rotor and sprocket. If you removed any bolts and it had Loctite on them, this blue stuff on the threads here, you're going to want to go ahead and pick up some Loctite and put that back on the bolts so they don't rattle out while you're riding. Now that the wheel is fully assembled, we can put it back into the bike. Your chain back on the sprocket and gently massage the rest of the wheel into place. Careful of the brake caliper and the brake lines. With a little love from our mallet, we can get the rear axle seated in all the way. Reinstall the chain tensioner thingy on the axle and the washer and nut. Reinstall and tighten down the rear caliper bolt and you're good to go. Enjoy your new wheels.